You're not waiting. You're hiding. Stop telling yourself you're waiting for the right time. You're not waiting. You're hiding behind excuses, behind fear, behind perfectionism. You keep saying you'll do it later, when you're ready, when it's meant to be. Let's get real. If you wanted it badly enough, you'd have started already. The right time isn't coming. The truth is, you're scared of failing, scared of looking stupid, scared of disappointing people. But staying stuck is its own kind of failure. Hiding is a slow death. The longer you wait, the heavier the regret gets. Choose to move. Choose courage over comfort. Choose now, too. No one is going to save you. You keep waiting for a sign, for someone to notice your potential, for the universe to step in and give you permission. Let me be brutally honest, no one is coming. No mentor, no friend, no opportunity is going to magically fix your life. You are the answer you've been waiting for. You have to fight for your own growth. Stand up for your own goals. Be your own damn hero. You already have everything you need. But if you don't take action, none of it matters. Stop holding yourself back by waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself. 3. The fear will never fully go away. Do it anyway. Here's the lie you keep believing. I have to get over the fear first. No, you don't. The fear won't vanish. That anxiety, the overthinking, the nerves. Totally normal, but they don't mean stop. They mean go. That's your body bracing for growth. You have to learn how to move with the fear. Let it ride in the passenger seat, but don't hand it the steering wheel. Stop holding yourself back, waiting to feel confident. Confidence comes after action, not before it. You want proof. Look back at every scary thing you've ever done. You were terrified, and you did it anyway. That's how this works. 4. You're busy avoiding what matters. You've got a full schedule. You're so busy. But what are you actually doing? Scrolling, over-planning, helping everyone else, organizing your junk drawer. Let's call it what it is. Procrastination dressed up as productivity. You are filling your life with noise to avoid what really matters. Your goals, your dreams, your potential. Because the real stuff. It's uncomfortable, but guess what? Everything meaningful lives on the other side of discomfort. Stop holding yourself back by playing small with your time. Cut the crap. Prioritize what matters. Get laser focused. Act like your dreams are on a deadline, because they are. 5. You're addicted to your old identity. You keep telling yourself the same story. I'm not that kind of person. I've always been like this. That's just who I am. But your past isn't your future. Stop using your old identity as a crutch to avoid becoming who you're meant to be. You're allowed to outgrow people. You're allowed to outgrow old habits. You're allowed to evolve. The version of you who played small, who doubted everything, who guessed every move, that's not who you have to be. But you need to consciously choose to release that version. Stop holding yourself back by clinging to who you were. Reinvent yourself. No apology needed. 6. Your environment is keeping you stuck. Let's be honest. You can't grow in soil that's killing you. Look around. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What kind of content are you consuming? What spaces are you spending your time in? You want to change your life, but you're stuck in the same conversations, same patterns, same toxic energy. No wonder you feel blocked. Growth requires new input. New energy, better boundaries. If your environment doesn't support your goals, you have to change it, or change how you engage with it. Stop holding yourself back by pretending you can grow while staying in the same place. You can't. 7. You keep talking yourself out of your own power. You're not lacking talent. You're not lacking potential. What you're lacking is belief. Every time you get close to progress, that voice in your head kicks in. You're not ready. You're not good enough. What if you fail? And instead of calling it out, you believe it. You treat your doubt like a truth. That voice isn't your truth. It's your conditioning, and it's time to rewrite it. Stop arguing for your limitations. Start arguing for your growth. Speak your dreams out loud. Back yourself with action. Believe in your vision even when no one else does. Especially then, stop holding yourself back. Start acting like your future depends on it, because it does. You keep telling yourself you're waiting for clarity, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment, the right sign, the right level of confidence to finally take action, but let's stop pretending. You're not waiting, you're hiding, and deep down you know it. You're hiding behind your overthinking, you're hiding behind your schedule, you're hiding behind your fears. It's easier to scroll through your feed, take another personality test, or clean the kitchen than it is to take one bold step toward the life you actually want. You say you're planning, but what you're really doing is stalling. Because the second you take action, you risk something. You risk being seen. You risk making mistakes. You risk finding out that this dream of yours might require more from you than you've ever given before. And that scares the hell out of you, so instead, you pretend to be figuring things out, but you've been stuck in the same loop for months, maybe years. Let me tell you something that might sting. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It's your trap. It feels safe because it's familiar, but that safety is suffocating your potential. The more you hide, the smaller your life becomes, and the smaller your life gets, the louder your inner critic becomes. That voice that says, "See, I told you you'd never change, but here's the truth, you can change, you can grow, you can break through, but not if you keep waiting for the right time, because the right time isn't coming." There is no magical moment where fear disappears and all the stars align. That's fantasy. The only thing that's real is what you choose to do today. So let's call it like it is. You're going to have to move while you're scared. You're going to have to start before you're ready. You're going to have to trust yourself when the path is still blurry. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing, action first. Answers second. You don't get to skip the messy part. You don't get to fast forward through the discomfort. Every person you admire, every success story you follow, started in the exact same place. Uncertain, afraid, imperfect. The only difference, they stopped waiting. They started anyway. If you want to feel proud of yourself, if you want momentum, if you want confidence, you have to earn it. And you earn it through action. Not perfect action, just forward action, one small decision at a time, one uncomfortable move at a time, one day of showing up even when you don't feel like it, because hiding, that's easy, growth, that's work. But the work is worth it, and every single day you choose to step up instead of shrink back, you're building a version of you that you're going to be proud of, not someday, now, because your future isn't waiting. It's being built, choice by choice. You want to know why you feel stuck, why you feel like you're going in circles. It's because your actions aren't aligned with what you say you want. You say you want more, but your habits say you're fine staying the same. That gap, that's where the frustration lives. That's where the self-doubt festers. So bridge the gap. Stop lying to yourself about why you haven't started. You don't need more time. You need more honesty. Honesty about how you've been avoiding the hard things. Honesty about how you've been making excuses instead of progress. Honesty about the fact that your fear of failure is costing you your future. And look, I get it. Change is uncomfortable. Starting is scary, but staying stuck is scarier. Waking up a year from now in the exact same place, with the exact same regrets, living the same routine, that should terrify you more than anything else. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to move, take the class, make the call, set the boundary, write the damn post, say yes to the thing that excites you and scares you at the same time. That's where the breakthrough lives. That's where freedom begins. So stop telling yourself you're waiting. You're not. You're choosing. And every minute you spend choosing to stay hidden is a minute you'll never get back. Choose differently. Choose boldly. Choose to stop holding yourself back and start showing up for yourself right now. No one is going to save you. It's time to face something that no one wants to admit. No one is coming to rescue you. Not your partner, not your parents, not your boss, not your friends, not the universe, not luck. You've been sitting around waiting for something, some sign, some person, some breakthrough to swoop in and change your life. But that's not how this works. The breakthrough doesn't come to you. You create it. You've spent years convincing yourself that once you're noticed, once you're chosen, Once someone gives you permission, that's when you'll finally go all in. But here's the truth. No one is going to hand you the life you want. You have to go out there and take it, not with entitlement, but with effort, with clarity, with relentless, unapologetic action. Stop looking outside yourself for answers that can only come from within. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you don't want to be responsible for it. Because if you take ownership of your future, then you can't blame anyone when it doesn't go the way you want. And that kind of responsibility, it's heavy, but it's also the beginning of power. Let me say this loud and clear. Your life is yours. Your goals are yours. Your happiness, that's on you too. You get to decide how you show up. You get to decide what you settle for. You get to decide what you tolerate and what you no longer allow. That's not a burden. That's a gift. You keep thinking that someone else has the answers, that if you just find the right mentor, the right path, the right strategy, everything will click. But the truth is, you are the strategy. You're the missing piece. You're the magic ingredient. The problem isn't that you're lost. The problem is that you don't fully trust yourself to lead, and maybe you've never really had to. Maybe you were raised to play it safe. Maybe you learned early on that taking risks gets you punished. Maybe you've been burned before. I get it. But just because you've been scared or hurt or overlooked doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you're human, and it means it's time to take your power back. Nobody else is going to believe in your vision the way you can. Nobody else is going to fight for your goals the way you must. People might support you. Some will cheer for you, but no one is going to wake up every day with your dream burning in their chest. That's your job. That's your fire to feed. So stop waiting for someone to validate your path. Stop looking for approval from people who aren't even living the kind of life you want. You don't need a round of applause to start. You need guts. You need grit. You need to stop making other people's opinions your permission slip. You have to stop outsourcing your power every time you think, I can't do this without help. You're reinforcing the lie that you're not capable, but you are more than capable, and the moment you decide to stop handing your future over to someone else's hands, that's when everything changes. You're not stuck. You're just scared to go it alone. But newsflash, you're already doing this alone in 1,000 ways. You're already holding the weight. You're already showing up, day after day, hoping things will change. Why not stop hoping and start choosing? You don't need a hero, you need a plan, you need discipline, you need to show up even when no one's clapping, even when no one's watching, even when it's hard. Especially then, that's what builds confidence. That's what builds trust in yourself. That's what builds a life that's actually yours. You think it's too late, it's not. You think you're not ready, you are. You think you need more time, you don't. What you need is a decision. The decision to stop holding yourself back. The decision to stop blaming circumstances and start owning your role in every single thing that happens next. Because once you own it, you can change it. You can reshape your habits. You can rewrite your narrative. You can move fast, boldly, without waiting for the green light. Because the green light is this moment right here. This is the permission you've been looking for. So listen to me. No one's going to save you, and that's the best news ever, because that means you don't have to wait. You can start right now, and the second you do, everything begins to shift. Not because the world changes, but because you do. The fear will never fully go away. Do it anyway. Fear isn't the enemy. It's not the thing that's stopping you. The problem is what you do when the fear shows up. Because it will. Every single time you try to grow, try to change, try to level up, it's there, and you keep thinking that means stop, that it's a sign to back off, that if it doesn't feel safe or easy, it must not be right. That's a lie. The fear doesn't mean stop, it means go. You keep waiting for the fear to disappear before you take the first step. But let me be clear, it won't. Fear doesn't vanish, it evolves. You just learn how to stop letting it run the show. You learn to expect it, to recognize its voice, to feel the panic and the tight chest and the shaky hands and keep moving forward anyway. You think courageous people don't feel fear, that successful people don't hear the same inner doubts that you do. Of course they do. The difference is, They don't wait to feel brave. They act their way into bravery. They do it scared. They do it unprepared. They do it before they feel like they're ready. If you want to move your life forward, you have to stop negotiating with fear. You have to stop trying to get over it before you move. That's not how it works. You don't wait for the fear to leave the room. You walk in with it, side by side. You say, I see you, but you don't get to make my decisions anymore. Because fear will dress itself up as logic, as timing, as caution. It'll say things like, let's just wait a little longer, or this isn't smart, or what will people think? That's not wisdom. That's sabotage in disguise. And the longer you entertain it, the more control it takes. Fear feeds off your silence, off your hesitation, off your inaction. Every time you shrink back, you make it stronger. But when you take that first step anyway, even if it's small, even if it's messy, you start shrinking the fear instead. That's the secret. Action breaks fear's grip. You want to feel confident. You earn that through action, not through thinking, not through journaling about it for 6 months, not through perfect research and preparation. Confidence is built by doing the thing you're scared of again and again, until it stops feeling so damn intimidating. And yes, you're going to be uncomfortable. That's the cost of growth. You can't expand and stay safe at the same time. The moment you ask for more freedom, more impact, more joy, you're also asking for more challenge. You don't get to skip that part. The version of you that's on the other side of fear, they're not braver or smarter or more special than you. They're just decisive. They stopped giving fear a vote. They felt the doubt and the shaking hands and the racing heart and said, let's go anyway. Fear isn't a reason to stop. It's a reason to rise. It's a signal that you're stepping into new territory, that you're about to break a pattern, that you're doing something your old self never dared to do. So instead of running from it, thank it. It means you're alive. It means you're close to something big. You're going to fail sometimes. You're going to stumble. You might even embarrass yourself. But guess what? You'll survive. And every single time you move through fear instead of running from it, you take back a little more power. You show yourself what you're actually made of, and that power compounds. It builds belief. It builds momentum. And before you know it, things that used to paralyze you are now just part of your routine. Not because the fear is gone, but because you outgrew it, because you took action over and over again until fear didn't have a hold on you anymore. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be willing. Willing to feel it, willing to fail, willing to go anyway, because fear never fully goes away. But neither does your ability to choose, and that choice, that's where your freedom lies. So here's the truth. If you're waiting to stop being scared before you start, you'll be waiting forever. But if you can learn to take the first step with fear in your throat and courage in your bones, there is nothing you can't do. Do it afraid, do it unsure, just do it. 4. You're busy avoiding what matters, let's just say it. You're not overwhelmed. You're distracted. You're not too busy. You're avoiding what actually matters, and you know it. You've filled your days with everything but the things that would change your life. You're working hard, sure. But are you working smart? Or are you just staying busy to avoid being brave? You clean, you scroll, you help everyone else. You answer emails, rearrange your desk, binge another podcast, write another list. But when it comes to the one thing that would move the needle, the call, the boundary, the launch, the decision, when you've handled everything else, but that day never comes, you don't need more time, you need more courage. You need to stop hiding behind fake productivity and start owning the fact that you've been playing small. Look around. Your life is cluttered with distractions. The toxic relationships you're too afraid to walk away from. The job that drains you but feels secure. The social media scroll you swear you'll cut back on. You've built a whole ecosystem around avoiding your next level, and it's time to tear it down. Because here's the hard truth. If you really wanted to change, you would. If it really mattered to you, you'd make time, you'd make sacrifices, you'd face the fear, but instead, you've been prioritizing what's easy, what's expected, what keeps you in the same place, and that's not because you're lazy. It's because you're scared. You're scared of failure, scared of judgment, scared of what success might demand from you. But listen, You don't get to rise and stay comfortable. Growth and safety don't coexist. If you want more, you have to do more, not more of the same, more of what counts. Start being honest with yourself. What are you avoiding? What truth are you pretending not to see? What decision have you delayed for so long it's now become normal? That's your work, that's your path, that uncomfortable, scary, inconvenient thing you keep sidestepping. That's the exact thing that will set you free. So instead of asking, what should I do next? Ask, what have I been avoiding? The answer is already in you. And it's louder than you think. It's been whispering in your gut every time you choose comfort over courage. You know what it is. Stop running from it. Because every day you avoid it, you train your brain that your fear is more powerful than your purpose. And that lie, it compounds. That's how regret starts. Not in one big moment, but in thousands of tiny ones, where you choose distraction over direction. You don't need a bigger to-do list. You need a smaller one, with only what actually matters on it. One goal, one next step, one brave move. Cut the noise, delete the fluff, stop making space for everything except yourself. Your time is not the problem, your priorities are, and the second you shift your focus to what really matters, even if it terrifies you, you start reclaiming your life. That's when real change begins. That's when momentum shows up. That's when the magic happens. You don't need to do more. You need to face more. Face the hard conversations. Face the uncomfortable truth. Face the dream that's been haunting you for years. That's what matters. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of all your distractions. So stop holding yourself back by pretending you're too busy. You're not. You're too scared, and that's okay, but do it scared. Do it anyway. Do what matters or keep living a life that doesn't. 5. You don't need more motivation. You need discipline. Let's cut through the fluff. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Motivation gets you hyped. Discipline gets you results. If you're sitting around waiting to feel ready or inspired, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. Because feelings are unreliable, but discipline is what shows up when feelings don't. You keep telling yourself, if I could just get motivated again. Stop it. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need the perfect morning routine. You don't need a hype playlist or another YouTube video. You need to do the thing you keep avoiding, even when it sucks, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. The reason you're stuck isn't because you're broken or unmotivated. It's because you think action comes after motivation, but it doesn't. Action comes first. You act, and then your brain catches up. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, long after the mood has left the room. That's how real change happens, not in one big breakthrough moment, but in 100 small ones where you choose discipline over drama, where you wake up and show up even when the excuses are loud, where you do what you said you were going to do not because it's fun, but because it's who you're becoming. You keep quitting too soon. You start something, then 3 days in, you're tired, it's hard, or you didn't get instant results, and you're out. That's not growth. That's self-sabotage dressed up as self-care. You don't need to take another break. You need to push through your breaking point. Discipline is freedom. That sounds backward, but it's the truth. When you're disciplined, you don't need to rely on willpower. You don't have to waste energy deciding whether or not to follow through. You already decided. That decision becomes your power, your anchor. Your way out. You want more confidence. Get disciplined. Confidence isn't about loudness. It's about trust. And you build trust with yourself by doing what you said you would do, over and over, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when it's boring, especially when no one is watching. You've trained yourself to only move when it feels good. But here's a fact. Most of the things that will change your life won't feel good in the moment. Waking up early, saying no to distractions, finishing what you start. None of it's glamorous, but all of it's necessary. So if you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If you're tired of feeling stuck, stop waiting to feel inspired. Be the kind of person who follows through, who doesn't negotiate with excuses, who chooses the hard thing now to create an easier life later. That's discipline. Showing up when it's raining, when it's dark, when it's quiet, when no one's cheering for you, when no one believes in you, when your body's sore and your mind is loud and quitting would be the easy way out. You don't. You keep going. You've been confusing feelings with facts. You feel tired, so you think you are incapable. You feel overwhelmed, so you assume you can't. But that's not truth. That's emotion. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It just gets the job done. Your dream life. It's on the being seen messing up. You're not protecting your standards. You're protecting your ego. And in the process, you're burying your potential. You're choosing control over growth. You'd rather delay than risk. You'd rather polish than publish. You obsess over tiny details and revisions, not because they really matter, but because they give you an excuse to avoid the one thing you're terrified of: imperfection in public. Here's what perfectionism really is: procrastination with a costume on. You keep hiding behind the idea of just tweaking it one more time. But the truth is, you're scared to finish, because once it's done, once it's out there, it can be judged. And if it can be judged, it can be rejected. That's the fear. But here's the kicker. While you're perfecting, someone else is out there publishing. While you're editing, someone else is showing up messy. And guess what? They're getting results. Not because they're better than you, but because they moved while you stalled. Progress doesn't come from perfect timing or flawless execution. It comes from imperfect action. From getting your hands dirty, from letting things be a little awkward, a little messy, a little raw, and doing it anyway. That's where real growth is. You don't need more polish. You need more courage. More reps, more attempts, because nothing improves without momentum. You want to get better. Start now. Start with what you've got. You'll never think your first try is good enough. And it won't be. That's the point. Perfectionism makes promises it can't keep. It tells you, just wait until it's perfect, and then you'll succeed. That's a trap. That day never comes, and while you're waiting, you're missing out on the lessons that only action can teach you. You learn by doing, not by obsessing. Every minute you spend trying to perfect something you haven't even started is a minute you're not building confidence, not building skills, not building anything real. You're just sitting in a fantasy, calling it planning. But perfectionism is just fear wearing a mask and calling itself productive. It's time to take the mask off, call it what it is. Fear of being seen trying. Fear of not measuring up, fear of failing. But if you want to grow, you have to be willing to look like a beginner. You have to be willing to look foolish. You have to be willing to suck at something publicly until you don't anymore. Every expert started as a disaster. Every master was once a mess. You don't skip that phase. No one does. So instead of aiming to be perfect, aim to be consistent. Show up, ship it, improve next time. That's how you win. Perfectionism doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. It robs you of opportunity, of time, of experience. And worst of all, it robs the world of your gifts. Because no one benefits from what you don't release. Done is always better than perfect. Always. So if you're holding yourself back because it's not quite ready, it's time. Hit send. Publish the post. Apply for the job. Launch the thing. Make the ask. Let it be imperfect. Let it be messy. Let it be real, because perfection isn't power. Progress is. And you don't need perfect to be powerful. You just need to start. 7. Your excuses are lying to you. You want the truth. Your excuses are lies. Every single one of them. They sound logical. They feel real. But they're nothing more than limits in disguise. Your excuses are not rooted in truth. They're rooted in fear, in habit, in comfort. And you've been believing them like gospel. I don't have time. Really? Look at your screen time. Look at the hours you spend worrying, complaining, doubting yourself. You have time. You're just not using it. You're spending it, bleeding it out in places that feel urgent but mean nothing in the long run. I'm too tired. Of course you are. Because emotional avoidance is exhausting. Because procrastination drains you. Because every day you ignore your potential, your soul gets heavier. You're not tired from the work. You're tired from not doing the work that matters. I don't know where to start. That's a cop-out. You know exactly where to start. It's the thing you've been avoiding. It's the uncomfortable conversation, the decision you've delayed, the plan you pretend you're still figuring out. You're not confused. You're scared. Your excuses sound like protection, but they're actually sabotage. They keep you still. They keep you stuck. They whisper things that sound smart. Now's not the time. You need more information. Let's wait and see. But all they do is keep you exactly where you are. And let's be clear, there's a cost. Every time you buy into your excuses, you pay with your potential. Every time you give your excuses a vote, you lose a piece of your future. You're not just delaying action. You're delaying who you're supposed to become. Excuses are a habit. They're a pattern you've practiced for so long. You've convinced yourself they're true, but they're not facts. They're choices, and you can choose something different. You can choose truth. You can choose courage. You can choose ownership. You are not a victim of your life. You are the architect of it. And the second you stop outsourcing your power to excuses, everything changes. Everything. Because the moment you say, no more, you take your power back. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need more confidence. You just need to get honest, brutally honest. What are you actually afraid of? What story have you been telling yourself that's kept you small, stuck, and silent? Drag it into the light and kill it with action. And no, it won't be easy, but it will be worth it, because on the other side of your excuses is your real life. The one where you stop just surviving and start thriving. The one where you take responsibility for your results and stop waiting to be rescued. You're not too late. You're not too old. You're not too inexperienced. Those are just convenient lies, and the truth is this: you are capable, you are resourceful, you are ready, you don't need permission, you need to move. So every time that excuse voice shows up, call it out, shut it down, replace it with truth. I don't have time becomes I'm making time. I'm too tired becomes I'll show up tired. I'm not ready becomes I'll learn by doing. You rewrite the narrative, word by word, move by move. Your excuses have had the mic for long enough. It's time to cut them off, to stop letting them be the reason you don't rise. You are not your circumstances. You are your choices. Choose better. So stop holding yourself back by buying into lies. You know better. You are better. Now prove it. You are the only one holding you back. You've been carrying this belief that something outside of you is stopping your progress. The job, the people, the money, the time. But here's the truth that will hit you hard. No one else is responsible for your growth except you. You are the gatekeeper of your own life. The moment you accept this, you start owning your power instead of giving it away. It's easier to blame the world, to say if only I had this or that, or if only they would change. But every excuse you tell yourself is another brick in the wall you're building to keep yourself small. When you say you can't, you're choosing to stay stuck, no matter how many reasons you have. Imagine if you took every reason you have for not moving forward and flipped it. What if the thing you call a barrier became your biggest fuel? That's the shift that changes everything, because when you stop pointing fingers, you start pointing your energy where it counts, on action. Growth requires discomfort. It demands that you challenge your own beliefs, habits, and fears. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I'm responsible. Not because it's easy, but because it's true. You can't wait for motivation to come knocking. You can't wait for conditions to be perfect. You have to start now. You are the sum of your decisions. Every yes and no you say to yourself shapes your reality. When you choose comfort over courage, you're holding yourself back. When you tell yourself, I can't, you're closing doors. But when you say, I will, you open the path to possibility. No one else has your back like you do. You can wait for someone to come save you, or you can stand up and be your own hero. It's not about being perfect. It's about being relentless, about doing the work every day, no matter how hard or uncomfortable it feels. The longer you wait, the more you're conditioning your brain to accept the status quo. That voice inside your head that says this is all I can handle, or I'm not ready yet, gets louder when you feed it with inaction. But you can change that story right now. Responsibility is the ultimate freedom. It means you're in control. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. And that response determines the course of your life. It's not easy, but it's simple. Stop searching for reasons to stay small. Stop waiting for others to give you permission. Stop doubting your capacity. The person standing in your way is you. The only way forward is through you. The sooner you own that, the sooner you'll stop holding yourself back. Fear is the signal, not the stop sign. Fear is not the enemy. It's the compass pointing you toward your next growth edge. When fear shows up, it means you're close to something important. It means you're on the edge of your comfort zone, and that's where transformation happens. Most people hear fear and they freeze. They hit the brakes and wait for it to pass. But fear doesn't disappear by waiting. It's a feeling, a signal, and the only way through it is forward. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing to feel the fear and do it anyway. Fear whispers lies about what could go wrong, but it rarely tells you what's on the other side. Courage is the bridge you build to cross from fear to freedom. It's a muscle you strengthen every time you take a step, even when your heart is pounding. The biggest growth in your life will always come disguised as fear. It's that uncomfortable feeling in your gut that says, if you move forward, everything could change. It's scary because it is big. It is important, and it is worth it. Stop waiting for fear to disappear or for perfect conditions to show up. They won't. Instead, learn to dance with your fear. Let it move through you without stopping your progress. Recognize fear as your ally, not your enemy. When you feel that tingle of discomfort, lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? Often, it's showing you where your limits are and where you need to expand. Your growth lies on the other side of those limits. You'll never grow if you only move where it feels safe. Safety is a cage disguised as comfort. The life you want is on the outside of that cage, past your fear, past your doubts, past the what-ifs. Stop waiting for the right moment. The perfect moment doesn't exist. You'll never find a day where the stars align, the planets are in your favor, and everything is just right. Life is messy, imperfect, and chaotic. Waiting for the right time is just another way to delay your dream. You're lying to yourself when you say, I'll start when. Because that moment never comes. What you call right timing is often just fear dressed up in procrastination clothes. You use it as a reason to stay stuck, comfortable, and safe. The only way to create momentum is to start before you're ready. You start with what you have where you are, with the resources available now. Waiting for more certainty is a trap. Certainty comes from doing, not thinking. Action creates clarity. The more you move, the clearer your path becomes. You don't have to have every detail figured out. You don't have to have a perfect plan. You just have to take the next step, even if it's imperfect. So stop waiting. The only moment you have is right now. If you keep putting it off, you'll be stuck in the same spot a year from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now. Life is happening while you wait. You have to choose progress over perfection, movement over hesitation, courage over comfort. No one is ever fully ready. No one ever has all the answers. The people who win are the ones who do it scared, uncertain, and imperfect. You're busy avoiding what matters. You're not overwhelmed. You're distracted. You're busy avoiding the hard stuff, the conversations you don't want to have, the decisions you're scared to make, the dreams you're afraid to chase. You've filled your days with noise to drown out the whisper of what really matters. You clean your desk, check your phone, scroll social media, busy yourself with minor tasks to avoid major breakthroughs. Your busyness feels productive, but it's really a distraction from facing your fears and doing the work. The longer you avoid the important stuff, the more it weighs on you. It's like carrying a secret that gets heavier by the day. The moment you stop running, you have to face it, and that's terrifying. But growth demands your attention. Your future self is begging you to stop hiding and start acting. You can keep pretending you're too busy or tired, or you can choose what matters and prioritize it. Start by asking yourself what you're avoiding, then do that. The things that scare you, the things that feel uncomfortable, those are the exact things that will push you forward. You don't need more motivation. You need discipline. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. You think you need to feel inspired to move, but that's a trap. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation leaves the building. Discipline means showing up when you don't feel like it. It means doing the work even when it's hard, boring, or inconvenient. It means creating habits that don't depend on your mood. The people who succeed aren't the most motivated. They're the most disciplined. They make decisions once and stick to them. They build routines that don't require daily pep talks. If you wait for motivation, you'll wait forever. The secret is to act first and let your feelings catch up later. Discipline is a commitment to yourself that you won't quit. Perfectionism is just fear in disguise. Perfectionism is fear in a fancy suit. It's the excuse you use to avoid failure, rejection, and criticism. You tell yourself it's not ready or it's not perfect, but really you're afraid. You're stuck in a cycle of editing, tweaking, and delaying because you don't want to risk being imperfect. But progress isn't about perfect, it's about done. Done beats perfect every time. You learn, grow, and improve by doing, not by perfecting in private. Perfectionism keeps you small and silent. It's time to let go of that need to control everything and start moving. Keynote 7. Your excuses are lying to you. Every excuse you make sounds logical, but it's a lie. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'm not ready. These aren't facts. They're stories you tell yourself to avoid discomfort. Excuses keep you stuck. They rob you of your power. They protect your ego, not your future. You have more time than you think. You have more strength than you realize. You have more potential than you believe. You're not a victim of your circumstances. The power to move forward is already inside you. You've heard it all. The raw truth that no one else is holding you back but yourself. That fear is not a stop sign, but a signal. That the right moment is a myth we tell ourselves to delay action. That busyness often masks avoidance. That motivation will never be enough, and discipline is what carries you through. That perfectionism is just fear disguised as safety. And that every excuse is a lie standing between you and your future. Now it's time to stop hearing and start doing, because knowing these truths isn't enough unless you decide to act on them. The power you need to break through every barrier you've built lives inside you right now. It doesn't come from outside conditions, motivation, or approval. It comes from your decision to show up, to move forward, even when it's hard, even when you're scared, even when it's imperfect. You have everything you need to stop holding yourself back. You have the strength, the courage, and the clarity. What's missing is your commitment, your willingness to own your story, to face your fears, to silence your excuses, and to step boldly into your growth. This moment, right here, right now, is the turning point. It's the moment you stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself permission. The moment you say, I will move forward. I will choose progress. I will no longer hold myself back. No one else can do it for you. But you don't have to do it perfectly, and you don't have to do it all at once. Start with one step, one decision, one action. Build momentum and keep moving, because momentum beats motivation every time. Your life isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to be brave. It's waiting for you to rise, so go ahead. Stop holding yourself back, break the chains, and show the world what happens when you finally believe in your own power.